President Cyril Ramaphosa is spending Mandela Day in the birthplace of the father of the nation. He will unveil two statues of the founding presidents in Qunu and Mthatha. Let's look at the very latest now from eNCA senior reporter Siphamandla Goge joins me just to, of course, get the significance of today. And Siphamandla, good morning to you, colleague. Today is not just about commemorating in words, but also in action. Those statues as symbolism of the legacy of Utata Madiba.
Indeed, those two statues will be the addition on many statues across the country and globally of this icon, which is Nelson Mandela, and we are at his birthplace in the Eastern Cape. We are located in Mthatha currently. This is where President Cyril Ramaphosa will begin his activities for the Mandela Day. Inside the Mandela Museum in Mthatha, these are some of the works or statues of the icon himself. It all started on this day many years ago when a child who later on became a global icon was born. A man who changed the political landscape of South Africa and the world. A man who became an icon. Despite many challenges and suffering, he would later on become one of the greatest people to have ever lived globally. And today is being commemorated. It's a significant day for his family, for South Africa, and for those who knew him. Even those who read about him in textbooks, they would know that this day is very significant. And these are some of the statues that are located here in the Nelson Mandela Museum in Mthatha. Of course, here he is with his longtime friend and comrade, Oliver Reginald Tambo. One of the people who would have fond memories of Madiba would be Undilega Mandela herself. Thank you very much for your time. It's a very important day today. As family members of Utata Nelson Mandela, let's talk about your reflections. Today, very significant day, the Mandela Day, the icon was born.
Yes, it is a significant day, but more than just being a birthday, this is a day that, was declared as being Mandela Day so that people can do good work in terms of carrying the legacy of Granddad forward. So this is why we're here today. Council members are currently at Zingisa Primary School, where they are handing over a library because they were approached by a child of the school to say that they don't have a library, and they organize library and books.
It's not a coincidence that there is that activity in that school because education was very close to Madiba's heart.
Absolutely. I mean, if I cast my memory back to when he started writing letters for me, from Robben Island, every letter was, what subject are you doing at school? How have you passed? Tell me your grades and all of that. So education was the foremost important thing to him.
And one of the most important things that people in South Africa can do to remember Madiba will be to prioritize the issue of social justice. And there are many socio-economic challenges in the country. To honor his legacy requires to eradicate poverty, inequality, unemployment, and get rid of this crime-ridden society.
Yes, it is. If I have to look, one of the things, yesterday I was asked, what would be one thing that I would say South African citizens must do in terms of emulating him? I would say it's Ubuntu, because Ubuntu cuts across all the pillars that you've talked about. It cuts across unemployment, it cuts across poverty, it cuts across crime. Because if we practice Ubuntu in terms of being able to share with your neighbor if you have plenty, that addresses issues of food security. If you address the issue that when you see a person being attacked, instead of taking videos, you intervene, it addresses crime. And if you are an entrepreneur and you are able to train young people in terms of self-sustaining, giving a person a fishing rod rather than giving them just a fish in the form of grants. Yes, perhaps the grants are important in terms of bridging a divide, but they're not sustainable because we cannot always rely on the grant system. We need to be able to teach people how to fish.
Servant leadership is one of the things that Madiba is known for, and currently critics will say it's lacking in some of our leaders in South Africa. How do we bring back servant leadership that prioritizes the needs of the people?
You know, through my foundation, we have a program called Leading Like Mandela, which is a program, a leadership development program. And I think if this can be taught to young people, because I believe that at a certain age, the identity of a person is already crystallized, how they think is already crystallized. If I have to look at my grandfather, he became the leader that he was, the servant leader that he was, by watching tribal council in Kegezweni under King John Indaba's regency. So that's where he learned to be the consultative leader and servant leader that he became. So if you can teach those qualities to school-going children, especially from grade 8 to 12, because that's a critical age in a child's developmental life, we could be able to build the next Oliver Tambo, the next Sisulu, the next Mandela, the next Robert Sobukwe, and.
Thank you very much for your time. Ndilega Mandela is the family member as we commemorate this important day.
Absolutely, and as he mentioned, it's a global day of celebrations. Not only the country, we'll be seeing, of course, how other parts of the world are celebrating Siphamandla Goge, but surely, of course, significance today in honouring Madiba once again with those statues, but also remembering what he stood for and embodying it at the same time.